Welcome to Level Up. I'm your host, Hakim, and this is a show where we dive into real stories, real experiences. I have a good friend of mine, special guest that we've been in touch almost 10 years ago, and we're still in touch today. Abubakar, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Hakeem. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here and to dive into
Nice.
this Level Up podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, if I want to introduce you, and I will give you the as well the talk about a little bit what you do. But really, you've been inspiring me as well with your entrepreneur approach and starting your own company. Kind of, finding a need in the market, which absolutely there is, and you're trying to solve that problem. I can talk a lot, but I always give to my guests
Right.
like the elevator pitch in the beginning. Yeah, to introduce us to yourself. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, so Abubakar, I'm the founder of Qariyb. It's a event discovery, management, and marketing platform for Muslim-focused events, allowing our community to discover events that they might not necessarily come across, which is fragmented across so many different platforms. And it's been an interesting journey so far, and we're excited to continue to build and fill this void in the marketplace, really.
Really nice, really nice. I will come definitely more into Qariyb to understand a little bit more about that. But
100%.
let's shake things up a little bit. I want to
Mhm.
ask you this question: if you could collaborate with any historical figure from any time, any place, building a startup, who would that be and why?
Mm. Uh, Collaborating with a historical figure to build a startup. I mean, I guess the cliche answer could be like a Steve Jobs, right? And he's not too historical, but like I would love to have, because he was very innovative, right? Steve Jobs was very
Absolutely.
innovative, and we're benefiting from his products still today. He had a vision for what Apple could be and what it has become today, and that shows through his innovation. And if you read his story and his biography, you'll find out that you know he started Apple and with some co-founders and was later kicked out of his own company that he started because he just had his own thinking and way of doing things, right? Which means he had a vision and he stuck to that vision. And later on, when things got really rocky and chippy, they called him back, right?
Yeah.
and and that story always inspired me because it shows that you have a vision, you believe in that vision, and you keep pursuing that despite the challenges. So I think you know being able to work with someone like that closely and learn from them would be someone I would look to kind of building a startup with, because it mirrors a similar journey that I've had, and we can talk about that later with Qariyb and the vision that I have. Because despite the challenges, there's a certain vision I have for the outcome of the product, and that's what I hope to achieve, inshallah.
Inshallah, nice, really nice. Yeah, it's really always motivating and inspiring when you see people really found the problem and create something that really solve and it lives almost forever. Like
Yeah,
Steve Jobs is a great example, and so many other people as well. Same. I'm really excited to learn from your side. Let's
yeah.
jump to the really the origin and the journey, the ideas and the impact of what you do,
All right.
and let's take it back. Where did you started like your entrepreneurship? Where was that like a moment where you said, okay, now it's the time to do that?
Yes, so I think I've always been entrepreneurial by nature, coming from, my parents. They've always been hustlers, as you can say, doing different businesses, side jobs, side hustles. So from an early age, I was exposed to
Nice.
just that, just being independent and just, working for yourself, controlling your time, freedom. But obviously, we take different paths in life. You go to school, you get the job route, and but there's always that thought in the back of your mind, like you want to do more, you want to become more, versus just the day to day. So I tried different businesses in the past. Some worked, some failed. But when it came to Qariyb, it was just like it was front and center. It's like everything I've done my whole life was for preparing for this this moment, right? I saw a problem that I personally experienced, right? Having lived abroad for a number of years, coming back and live again in the US. And I saw how fragmented the communities were. Now, I was just trying to find out what was going on so I can connect with people, so I can network, right? What's happening in our spaces. And usually, as Muslims, right, when wherever we travel in the world, we look for other Muslims. Either it's a community, food, something where we have a first central
Relate
point
to,
of
yeah,
contact for our value system, right? That's no matter where you go, and I'm sure that probably was the same for you when you
absolutely.
relocated. Like, okay, where are the Muslims, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
and today you would there is not a central platform where you can even like find what's happening or just to build community around. Okay, I'm interested in moving to the US and Texas. Where are the communities? Where are the schools? What's happening in the Muslim life? So this was missing, and that was my challenge. So I decided to do something about it, essentially leveraging my background and experience in technology to basically streamline information, right? You have a Google search, you have Eventbrite, you have all these platforms that solve problems for specific segments. But when it came to this demographic, there was WhatsApp and newsletters, which is not
That's
effective,
true.
essentially. So that's
Yeah.
how the whole idea of Qariyb was born, out of a personal frustration.
I think every success in this life was made out of a frustration. So it's
Yeah,
really good start, really good start, and
yeah,
really interesting what you're doing. Definitely.
yeah.
What you said you use your environment, use your education. So what role did actually the education and environment played in directing you to that direction?
Yeah. So I've been in community organizing my whole life, and not many people don't know
I
this, but
didn't know
like,
that.
yeah, my dad is an imam. He's been in community service for over 40
Oh,
years,
well.
even communities. He's established massages. So from a young age, I've been exposed to just what it means to be a community leader, organizing people, leading people. And offline, there's something I was always doing anyway, like connecting people, helping them find resources. Someone moved into town. I was that guy that's connecting people and facilitating people, right? Um, but when it came to just doing that at scale, I was like, man, how can we achieve that? Like, I'm this problem, and I've traveled around the world, alhamdulillah. This problem exists everywhere, but it's like people are just okay with just the way things are, and I wasn't, right? So I always think that there could be an effective way to doing things, and we've been, one of the hardest things to do is to take an abstract concept and bring it to life, right? Something that doesn't exist, right? It's not there, it's kind of never been done. So it's like in the early days, you're really just experimenting, figuring things out, researching. I mean, yes, there are models out there, but it's like we had to build something for this specific use case, this demographic,
Mhm.
just reimagining what that looks like. And it's been a challenging but fun exercise.
Of course, yeah, I fully understand, and really, really interesting. The name Qarib, I
Yeah.
understand, of course, it means like close,
Yes.
but what is the name, the idea behind the name?
Yeah. So I like, I'm very meticulous about everything I do. Like, I'm obsessed with every detail about everything. Like, the name had to have a meaning, it had to have purpose, it had to tie to the brand. And I came up with a couple of names like cooperation, right? Like Ta'awun, Bunyan. So I was like, those are too technical. But then I was
Yeah,
just like, Qarib, like close. Like, I
yeah,
want
it's
people
very
to
nice.
feel a sense of closeness wherever they are, connecting hearts, connecting people. So that name Qarib has so many meanings, right? So it's symbolic in the sense that, like, when you think of an event, you like, okay, you think of Qarib, you think of, hey, I'm in this area. Oh, it's Qarib, it's nearby. Like, so it's so many different play on words, and I think
Yeah,
I'll do more storytelling around the name and the branding once we start to put ourselves out there from a marketing perspective. But I just thought the name would had to be important. It just couldn't be a random name, like, just these generic names out there. So that was
nice,
important
really
to me.
cool. Really, really nice, and absolutely, it's connect to your vision and to what you want to do, which I fully agree. What
100.
what are the features actually? If I'm an app user and what can I get, like use it for, and what kind of things I can have there inside, and
Yeah,
how it can benefit me.
that's a great question. So I always try to, like, one of the things I'm doing in this space, since it's never been done really, is beyond the product, beyond the tool, is educating people about this space, whether you're Muslim or not Muslim. When you talk to a lot of folks, Muslims specifically, they think Muslim events are like just lectures, or, halakas, stuff like that, which is okay, but it's not the full picture, right? We travel, we do business, we
Yes,
do
yeah,
computer activists. We are doing so much more than just sitting somewhere dhikr, right? and
yeah,
you know the famous hadith where the Prophet ﷺ, there was a man in a masjid and he was just sitting there all day worshiping, and the Prophet told him, get out, go and out into the world and do something with yourself, basically.
yeah.
That's essentially the hadith. So
Uh,
I want to be able to showcase that part of Muslim life to the world and Muslims, that hey, we're more than just one dimensional, right? So to answer your question, there are events around professional categories, networking, business, charity, nonprofits. So these are the type of events you can create on Qariyb. This could be online, this could be in person, right? So you can host a event online, like people do online workshops, and educate someone about your space. Maybe you have an expertise in Islamic finance or business and law as it relates to
that's really
uh,
cool.
yeah, or whatever. So this could really be a tool. It's a tool for connectivity. It's a tool for education. It's a tool for research. It's a tool for many things that, if you were to use traditional platforms, you might not get what you're looking for, right? If you're interested in the Muslim consumer market or the halal economy they're talking about, you can't go to eventbrite.com or Meetup or Luma and search Islamic finance, and it'll come, and hope it'll come up. So we're trying to really create the discovery side. I'm interested in XYZ, and we build the tools for these organizers who are creating these events to attract the audience. So it's kind of just two-sided. So essentially, you as an individual, you'll be able to come to Qariyb, excuse me, and filter it based off of the categories of your interest. If you're interested in religious stuff, it's there. If you want to connect around professionals, it's there. If you want to find women only events, it's there. Men only events, travel, everything you can think of that encompasses the Muslim life. Inshallah, that's the goal.
Allah, man, this is really, really inspiring, and
Yeah.
I just cannot think of anything exists like that. So,
Yeah.
wow. And is it? Are you only focusing with USA right now, or
No,
is it like
this
global?
is global. So right now we're in the process of releasing the next version in about a few weeks, which now anyone anywhere in the world, as long as you have internet access, you can start creating your own events. So we're focusing on organizers first, because they bring the events, they have the audience. But yeah, you can be anywhere in the world. So now if I'm like coming to The Hague, I can see what's happening in The Hague, in terms of the
Interesting.
Muslim community. In fact, we are working closely with some community organizers. They're doing some really creative work in The Hague.
Nice.
So basically, that's the idea. I'm in The Hague for a couple of days or a week. What's happening? I'm there for work, but outside of work, how can I connect with people in the community? That's the idea.
Very nice. And let me ask you this question. It's only event related.
Yes.
So, like, whatever, it doesn't matter. As you mentioned, it's business, it's religious,
Yeah.
but it's if I wanna, like, I find some tips to travel, for example, or of course, these people can go to a lot of apps, but
Yeah.
that's what is really interesting, because if you're traveling for business, as you said, then you want to find
Yeah.
out if there's something happening, in that part
E-
of the world.
Exactly. Exactly. And there is a hospitality element to it, right? You're in hospitality, so events, travel, hospitality go together. So we're building the event space first, and then we're going to get into travel, hospitality, etc. So it's literally an ecosystem. This is a vision I have.
Really cool.
Yeah,
You're building something that really connects deeply with people, and
yeah.
that's really, really powerful. I'm really inspired by it.
Mhm.
I want to ask you this: how do you stay grounded in purpose, while growing a business in a tech space, especially you're
Yeah,
doing something really, really unique?
yeah. You renew your intentions, right? You renew your intentions. You stay focused on the vision, right? So like everything we do, right? It's guided by our faith, our actions, right? So if you're not doing something for the right reasons, you could easily when a challenge comes up, it's easy to just throw in the towel, as they stay. So staying grounded is renewing my intention, renewing my sincerity on why I'm even doing this, and focusing on the vision and the impact that this could have, right? Because if I'm feeling personal frustration about this, millions of others are, you know. So that's what keeps me grounded and keeps me going, despite the challenges.
Really, really interesting. How big is your team right now?
So right now we're a lean team. Is my co-founder and I, just building this out. We in the past it was just me. It was solo, right? Just trying to build this slowly, slowly, slowly. And now, alhamdulillah, since having a
Alhamdulillah.
co-founder and technical founders, we've been able to move with a little more speed and get so much traction so far,
That's
and it's been great.
really nice. And I'm also thinking of the global kind of direction. How do you cover the markets globally?
So the thing about software is technology. It's a tool. So we, as technologists, we build a tool. We make sure it works, and we make it available to the market by marketing it. Right. So how it works, or making it available globally, is basically you working with organizers different parts of the world. It's like network effects, right?
Mhm.
When
Mhm.
LinkedIn started, it started with professionals, and so many people join. People, job seekers. So once people start using it, they see the value, naturally they'll tell other people about it. And that's how platforms grow, right? So I think now we're in a very small world. We're all connected by, I guess, what, 6 degrees of separation. So we plan to just leverage our own networks and distribution channels to where, we're promoting it across the right channels to have that massive impact across the globe where, someone in London can create an event and then it spreads into Europe, or someone in the US can create an event and through those networks it spreads to Canada, etc. So I think within a matter of time, the platform could easily have a global impact, inshallah.
Absolutely. Inshallah. Inshallah. Wish you all the best in that.
Thank
I'm just thinking along the way, trying to. If I'm a user,
you.
I'm
Yeah.
the one who will add the event. So
Yeah.
if
If you're an organizer, if you would add the event, and then someone as a user would come there and say they could either just see what's available, all categories, or they could just filter based off their interest. So if they're interested in travel and tours, like, hey, I want to see where the next retreat is to Bosnia or to Morocco or
Mm,
Malaysia, they can just go to the travel because that's all they're interested in. But you, as an organizer, as you're creating your event, you're putting the right information, you're putting the right category, the right tags, so that when someone's coming to the platform, they can easily search and find you. And on another side, if you are a business and you do travels and tours, you can organize events. So a travel is an event, an online workshop is an event. It's become a lead generation tool for you to find Muslim travelers, Muslim clients. So
yeah,
you can look at it two pronged, for events and for leads.
that's really cool. That's really cool. And yeah, I think it's just as you said, it's a matter of time that
Yeah.
it will grow because absolutely thinking of the halal economy, as we
Yeah.
say, like I'm convinced the next 20 years is for like the
Yes.
Middle East, like
Yes.
thinking of Saudi, thinking of Dubai, thinking of Qatar, like
Everywhere.
so much going out there,
Yeah.
and
In East Asia, Malaysia, and India,
yeah,
Indonesia, where they have the largest population of Muslims in the world. And
exactly.
people don't know about what's happening in these places, right? So imagine now you have visibility to all these places and communities, and what could come out of just understanding that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a little bit more focus on like Europe versus Middle East because probably in Middle East it's already people
Yeah.
know each other, or how do you run that?
Yeah, so it'll be case by case for like a Middle East, you know, um, surprisingly, even though it's Muslim majority country, they still struggle with communication. So think about Qariyb as a communication tool. It's a tool for communicating events, right? So I have friends that work in like Awqaf, Ministry of Islamic Affairs, and I was asking them, how do you guys communicate your events or what's happening? They're like, oh, we use Twitter, right? And I was
Yeah,
like,
there's nothing there. Yeah,
use
absolutely.
Twitter. So think about it, you're using Twitter to promote stuff with for Awqaf.
Wow.
That just basically answered the question. Like there's no other tool, so there's just alternatives. So now once people start seeing this as a tool and it's like a for bringing Muslim events together, not just like, oh, it's Muslim events, it's a tool, it's a communication tool, then they can apply it to their use case no matter where they are.
That's really interesting.
That's where the
Sorry.
education stuff comes in. Like I'm having to educate you on what it is. Like what is Qarib, right? So it's an event platform, but what also is it? Like, so I'm doing a lot of that educating.
Nice. How do I saw you traveling a lot. Of course, you were in Dubai, I think, recently. How do you market for it?
I'm a lot of to be honest, a lot of it is word of mouth. Like is either people following me, like building that founder brand online, talking about Qarib, and people who've been following the journey, talking to other people about the journey, and you'll be surprised that people will reach out or people just like, hey, yeah, I came across your post. So it's just like it's very important as a founder, to just kind of just put yourself out
Out
there.
there?
For me, it was a little cringe at first because like I'm a guy that just reserved in the background. I'm quiet. I just get things done, but it's like it's important to also share because I have a lot of insights, right? So I'm bringing that to the forefront, and surprisingly, people are paying attention. I didn't know people were paying attention unless they reach out to me, right? But it's good to know that okay, whatever I'm doing or sharing is resonating with folks, even though they might not be saying it or engaging. So I just continue to show up. That's what I'm telling myself. And this
Nice.
is where sincerity comes in, right? Because if you're doing things for other validation or whatever, are you doing it for the right reason, right? Intention, sincerity. So you have to check yourself a lot.
Yeah, of course. Learn about a
Yeah.
lot when you during the journey as well. You learn about yourself. You learn about what
Exactly,
which
exactly, exactly.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah,
Really interesting. I want to zoom in a little bit more into the events and the
yeah,
marketing, and
no,
maybe based on your experience. And of course, you've been like into this a while ago, even before that, in the most challenging, I would say, industry tech. Of course,
yeah.
what are one or two things most event organizers get wrong when they are trying to grow?
I think since our space is pretty much like underserved, undertapped, they get a lot of things wrong, right? Whether it's I guess the planning, just the marketing, right? Some people get it that are in this space, um, but and that's where we're trying to fill that void. So we will be, like I said, it's coming back to the education piece, creating resources around how to create better events, how to plan better, how to create events within the guidelines of okay, if we're in this halal space around our value based system, right? Just really educating. So it's really wide open, and again, we're providing a product and we're educating you along the way and holding your hand and how to make your events better because there's no infrastructure in place right now. Everyone is just they create an event, and they spam it across 100 WhatsApp channels and they expect people to show up. So there's no structure around it, right? So we're trying to say, hey, let's do things differently.
Nice. Do you have already like feedback from
Yeah, we've
like
been getting feedback. We've been getting a lot of positive feedback,
nice?
and now we're just waiting to get the product out there because we've been on this journey for a while. Like I said, in the early days, it was just myself, so just really the product couldn't take off the way I wanted to. But since, like I mentioned, now that I have a co-founder, a technical partner, Now, once the product is released, it'll speak for itself, inshallah.
Nice. Inshallah. Did you have like a time frame? Where is it
Yeah,
gonna be?
so we're testing it out starting in August, and by September, inshallah, it will be available for the public.
Very cool. Shout
Anyone?
out to Qariyb.
Yeah,
Everyone should check this out definitely.
exactly. So, if you're an event organizer, if you run events, or if you want to get in front of the Muslim audience, Qariyb is definitely something worth paying close attention to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wow. Really, look, I'm bringing this as an entrepreneur now, and I want to ask you this as well to learn from you.
Yeah,
How how was that transition for you? Because you were absolutely in the corporate world. You
yeah,
also had really great career.
yeah.
We met back in 10 years ago in USA, very randomly in Kansas City. So
Very
how was
random.
this? How was this transition from corporate life to entrepreneur, and what kind of challenges and lessons that you have learned?
Yeah, man, it's a big transition. Like I said, it really comes down to your thinking, right? So it's just like you either think like an employee or you think like um, a business owner, right? You could be employed, right? But you're at the back of your mind, you're like thinking of how to solve problems. How, and that means you're not really an employee. You're thinking like a business
Yeah,
owner. You're thinking with
yeah,
more responsibility, and you need to put yourself in a position where you can grow and live up to that expectation. So once you make that transition, you're learning a lot, right? You're learning about marketing, you're learning about sales, you're learning about customer relations, you're learning about every aspect of the business to the point where you almost become unemployable in the sense that you just know too much. You just have too much skills, and that's what business startups teach you. They don't teach you this in MBA school. Once you decide to start a business and become an entrepreneur, you're learning so much that you can literally run a show, right? And the challenges really is just a lot of the challenges are outside of your control. So I try to focus on things that are in my control: my attitude, how I show up, my consistency, my sincerity, my intention, things that I control. Because you will face challenges, you will come across obstacles, but how do you learn and keep moving and just get out of your own way and get out of your own head?
nice. I love that. It's really nice. It's really nice. How
Right.
how do you stay focused, especially you know you always get those fears, in your head, like, oh, is that risky? How I'm gonna continue? How do you stay focused with your vision?
Yeah, I think it's risky not trying, right? We don't know, and it's just a wisdom that we don't know what the future would look like, right? Because if we did, maybe we would have everything. But in the wisdom of the Creator, in the sense that he puts things in our heart, and he allows us to choose, right? And you know, staying in course with the vision is just something you as an entrepreneur, you like, okay, if I don't do this, what would be the outcome? You don't want time to pass and you're like, man, I had the resources, I had the time, I had the flexibility, and you didn't do it. So it's so if you fail, you fail, but you at least you tried, right? And that's again something every entrepreneur faces. They think about, like, what if it doesn't work out, or people think I'm crazy, and they
Yes.
do. They like, yo, what is this guy doing? Like, he's been working on it for 5 years, and we haven't. People talk, but like, you have to think about something. There are only a few percent of people in the world that actually make change. Bottom line. Bottom line. So you have to look at yourself as one of those people that like are change makers. Not everybody is a change maker, but if you have the skill set, if you have the talent, if you have the will, why not? You don't need
Fully
permission,
agree
you
with
need
you.
validation, you just need action.
I fully agree with you, and it is inspiring. I think I always believe there are two kind of direction, in this life. Either you follow somebody or
Mhm.
you lead something.
Voila.
And I think what you're saying definitely is absolutely true. I'm myself experiencing this right now as an entrepreneur, and
Mhm.
it's really if you didn't try, I always said this to myself. If you didn't try, you would never know. You would
I
have
know.
no idea
Right.
where can you.
It's so funny because my mom used to always say that to me. You never try, you never know. You never try,
Yeah,
you never know.
it is. It
Just
is, and
try.
of course, it's not like as comfortable and as secured as when you go to
It's
a
not.
comfort zone. Where, yeah, it's
Not.
not. And it's scary. It's
Yeah.
challenging, but you also have the choice, as you said earlier. You have the choice. You can really choose to, stay in the mindset where, yeah, I can do it. I see it happening, and think of that and try, or not. So
Exactly.
it's a
Exactly.
choice.
Exactly. And like I said, getting out of your head also helps.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Wow, for you, like looking ahead,
Yeah.
future events, tech. I think you're sitting in a really unique space and really promising, especially in the direction you're taking. But what does the future look to you and to Qariyb?
So the future, that's a great question. Thank you. The future, we want to be, our vision is to be the global hub for discovering Muslim events, no matter uh,
So
where you are. So eventually, what we want, as we grow in this space, now we can start, um, you know, becoming that category that people model. Like now they're interested in starting a business and they want to do research around, like it's a business specifically focused on the Muslim economy, but there's no research available, right? Everything we do is based off of research, right? Someone documented something on entrepreneurship and sales. Now you can go and find that research about this specific hospitality case studies. There's nothing available for us. So as we create more events, or as more events become created, we will do case studies on things in this economy, whether it's community, Muslim life events, and really just come from a research angle now. Like, like we have the data. Now, how do we educate people around the Muslim life, right? And it becomes as how do we control our own narrative, right? Where we're not stroked with one brush, like, oh, all Muslims are like this or like that. Now you can actually get insights onto what's happening in the Muslim world real time. And you see that we're, we're normal people that want to do good and really level up. Like,
yeah,
how do we use
loving
this information to level up? And that's what's missing. Like, when you don't have information, when you're ignorant, it's hard to level up. So like, that's it.
really, really.
Leveling up.
Well said, well said, and can't agree enough with you because like there's so much of misinformation, and especially like in a Western world that you would know, despite even like right now you would see the most innovative countries in the world are Muslim countries. Like let's be honest, like look
Exactly.
at Dubai, look at Saudi, look at
Exactly.
future is holding even more. Like there
Exactly.
are also countries that really changed their whole kind of economy. Like think of Indonesia, think of Malaysia. Like you have so much examples, and I think what you're doing is really, inshallah, has huge potential because this sector or this kind of environment is not there. It's not exist. You cannot find it. So
Yes.
I'm definitely excited to see it growing as well. Do you
Definitely.
have like any trends or opportunities you're excited about in the market? It can be tech, it can be, I don't know, whatever, especially tech and AI and all that.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm following this AI journey and seeing how we can apply that to our product in the future and how to automate things. Eventually, either even having like a chat bot or something where you come in and you just type a prompt in and it just gives you information based on what exists. So we're exploring that in the future, just staying modern, staying ahead of the curve, and just bringing playing the same race, right? We often get left behind because we don't participate, but how can we participate and stay ahead in this race and really give the next generation a chance and really be role models, right? It's something that deserves its own podcast, is just like being a role model. I think that's what's missing a lot in our communities. We don't look up to the right people. So and we going different directions. So like a lot of this is just how can people connect, find out other role models and how to be role models. It's so many. I feel like so much khair, so much good can come out of this platform. By just having it available to people.
You are absolutely right, and I I, I really think the same way that you never know what are you creating,
I
and you
don't.
are creating something really that I think will have huge impact. Like,
Right.
think if you're coming to business trip, just an example. I'm thinking out, loud. If you're traveling to USA or if you're traveling to Europe or
Yeah.
any your Western country, and you go for business, but you want to find out what's happening there as well. Like, maybe you want to attend, see like a khutbah or imam, or
Yeah.
for example, if I'm going to USA,
Yeah.
I want to search where's Omar Suleiman, khutbah. I want to
Yeah.
find, okay, I want to sit
Exactly.
there.
Exactly.
So definitely, I see the potential out of it, and I wish you, man, really all the best. It's
Thank
such
you.
a great idea, and it's always like that. You get
Thank
a frustration, you find a need, and you try to build something. And of course,
you.
it's not easy, but it is rewarding. And
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much.
um,
Really.
let me ask you this: if everything goes right, and
Uh,
inshallah, bismillah, what kind of legacy are you want to leave? Or do you want to leave behind?
yeah. Legacy, right? Just a legacy of service, a legacy of like the same tradition my father and forefathers have done. Like they, it's just been all about serving community,
Nice.
serving the community. So that's what I want to. This is me serving the community in my own way.
Community.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Absolutely. Well, the best
yeah,
final reflection,
yeah.
I have, and what does leveling up means to you?
Mm. Leveling up means just to me um, moving forward despite challenges, keep pressing forward. Leveling up means just you know outdoing yourself, right? Setting high bar and just trying to accomplish that, right? Whether it's your communication skills, whether it's your business skills, whether it's your interpersonal relationship with your people in your community, how can you continue to level up so that you're showing up better in all of these different areas? And I think oftentimes we stop learning, we stop growing, we stop developing, and we stop leveling up. So leveling up should be a lifelong journey of just, showing up better than the previous day, right? And not settling for less, right? So it's imperative that we level up. It's not a choice. It's imperative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love when you said outdoing yourself, because this is something I think I always believe in is,
Mm.
if you want to look at the competition, look at yourself
Yeah.
first and really try to develop and invest in yourself. And definitely this is what level up, as you said, should be. It should be like
Exactly.
all the time you're trying to get better, to do better for your community, for yourself, for whatever you are.
Exactly.
Wow. Abubakar was really, really inspiring. I'm
Thank you
really
so much for having me, man.
Yeah, I'm really honored to have you, and you are like a perfect guest for the show, because I really want to shed the light on entrepreneurs, people who are really trying to find a solution for a problem and
Hmm.
learn from each other and kind of grow together as well. So
Thank you,
I'm
bro.
gonna share your information, of course,
Thank you. Thank
on the
you.
description, so people can really find you, reach out to you.
Thank you.
But
Anytime.
yeah, of course, where people can reach out to you, by the way, you have a website or you have
Yeah,
like a
Qariyb.com. You can go QARIYB.com. And I'm very active on LinkedIn. So you can
nice,
easily find me by searching my name, Abubakar Sheriff. Maybe you
nice.
can drop a link in the description for the people interested in connecting with me. And I'm always interested in connecting, chatting, sharing my experience, and helping
Absolutely.
people. So
Absolutely. Let's do that. Let's stay connected, and I wish you all the best, of
thank you,
course,
bro.
in your journey.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you so much, Abubakar, for
Thank you so
the
much.
conversation. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm gonna hit stop recording now.
Okay. Okay.
Can we do that?